Going back to Close, you mentioned there he was up for the Player of the Month award, didn't quite win it, but he's been really good, hasn't he, for you in terms of his leadership? You talked about that a lot, an experienced guy in the change room, but on the pitch, and that's, I guess, why he was shortlisted last month. His performances are consistently at a good level.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was more than deserved for Tim. He was there with, I think, outstanding defensive performances, also the soft skills, so leadership in the dressing room, on the pitch, with body language. Yeah, was also great. I think he plays really nearly without any mistakes in defense. Also so important for our build-up game, and also in the offense, a big threat with his abilities to score out of set piece with the head. And yeah, in general, we are totally happy and pleased that we have Tim. And at the moment, he's an outstanding player on his level and on this level. And for that, I'm happy that we had no midweek game, so that we have to do without him. And hopefully he can go on with this great performances.
You made your feelings clear on the Manager of the Month thing last month when you was on the shortlist. You wasn't actually on the shortlist this time. There's quite a few people who thought that was a bit of a strange, given October was quite as good, maybe not as good as September in terms of the points, but I suppose given that you said you didn't really too worried about individual awards, you didn't really pay too much heed to that you didn't make the shortlist.
No, that's right. So in general, I made it clear before. I'm really not. My joy in football isn't coming from individual awards. So it's really like I speak with the player so often in the dressing room about we are not interested in who scored how many goals or how many assists or how many saves or how many appearances. So it's not up to individual awards. It's totally up to the success of the team. And so my joy is when I can help to make the people around Norwich City happy. And my most important thing is to make our supporters happy. So they are with so many emotions and so much passion for this club. And the most joy for me is if we can pay something back and entertain them and are successful for them, and also for the people who work for this amazing club and for our owners. So they invest so much passion and emotions and time and work for this club. And if we as a club are successful, that's my joy. And with all respect for for this competition and for this awards and the coaches who won this award and are perhaps nominated or whatever. So with all respect for this, so just can say congratulations to this. Everything's okay. But my joy is really like we want to be successful as a club, and that's the only thing. If you judge it in an objective way, so some of my analyzing team said it was a bit weird because in the month September we were there with 6 games, 5 wins, 1 draw, and I think John Clark won this Manager of the Month award with 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And the reason was he led West Brom up to the league, to the top of the table, and were league leaders. Yeah, and meanwhile in October we are there and brought the team back to the top of the table. And meanwhile, we are not nominated. So one member of my analyzing team said it feels a bit weird. To be honest, it doesn't feel weird for me because it doesn't affect me at all, because I'm just interested in how we play, and we were able to be unbelievably successful. We had after the last international game 4 games in the league, 4 wins, and a brilliant performances at Bournemouth. So I'm totally happy that we make the most important people happy here, and these are our supporters and our owners, and for that, totally happy at the moment. Yeah, unbelievably strange decision, because for me Tom Schwab is one of the best holding midfielders in the whole league, especially in this deep 6 role. I was there with I think top class performance at Bournemouth, but it's more like the first thought you have at the moment is, okay, who will be in the starting lineup? And we decided to have Alex Tete in the starting lineup because his performances were also on the top level, and to be fair to him, we nearly won all the matches with Alex in this role. And then the next thought is then, okay, when you have your starting lineup, you need 7 homegrown players on the team sheet. And it's more like in the recent weeks Yeah, had to fulfill this homegrown rule with especially players who were not so much involved in the starting lineup, and it was just possible to have one or two players who were not homegrown players on the bench. And for example, in the last week, we needed Dennis Rubeni because Jordan Rhodes was not available, and that means there was no position on the team sheet for Tom Tribal. So it felt like a pretty strange decision, and also sometimes the rule it should support especially the young players, but also the young English and homegrown players. But sometimes it leads to a situation that without winning the battle on the training pitch, they are having a position on the team sheet. I'm not sure if it really works into the right direction, but it is like this, and we have to accept these rules and to have to handle this. And it was unbelievably tough for Tom, and also tough for me because I'm always in a good position when Tom Tribal is around. But sometimes you have to take some strange decisions as well, and that was the reason.
I mean, managers always say they like the headache, don't they, if things are going well and they get these changes. But I mean, is there an issue now that the cup is done that it's almost going to be a thankless task with the size of your squad and players who've played a lot of football and bring a lot to your team, that they might just not physically get the game time?
To be honest, I don't like the headache. So it's really like one of the toughest jobs when you work in this business in terms of man management. When you have a player and he gave everything on the training pitch and he totally deserves to be involved, even in the starting lineup, or then at least in the traveling squad or on the squad for the game day, and you have to tell him that he's not involved. It causes really sometimes physical pain, and this is the reason why you are struggling sometimes to sleep well, and because you think so much about it. And in terms of management, it's unbelievably complicated. This was one of the biggest tasks you have to handle in this business. And my experience is the most important thing is that you are honest with the player and don't tell him any reasons which are not the truth and are only just constructed or something like this. So it's important to be always honest with the player. When you're not happy with his performances, tell him. When there are some other reasons, tell him. And it's the best way to do this, and not to hide the way, and to do it also in the personal way. So it's not like any one of my coaching stuff should do this tough work. So it's more like I want to do this face to face because that's my job. For that I'm paid, and it's one of the most difficult tasks. And it's also important that you have a group of players who are, of course, greedy to be always on the pitch and play each and every minute, because that's what you have to do when you work in this business, to be really greedy to play. And on the other hand, when there is a strange decision even against you, to accept this in a way that is not causing problems from the group. And all I can say, of course it's sometimes tricky and difficult, but what I have to say is a big compliment, especially for the lads who had to handle some pretty strange decisions in the recent weeks. When I think, for example, about Tom Tribal, when I think about Dennis Rubeni, sometimes when I think about Ivo Pinto, about Felix Paslak, it causes really personal pain, because I feel for all of my players, and it's really tough. But all I can say, it's unbelievable how this mates are able to handle these decisions, and also to all the other players how respectful they are when there are players who are not involved. So it's I think a big strength of our team at the moment. And it's also important that we go further on, even when there are perhaps less games or not a cup competition where some players are involved, and it will be a big topic and also an important point that we go further on with this commitment, this togetherness, in order to be successful. I totally agree.
Final one for me. You talked about your focus is clearly on the pitch, and you do have enough to worry about there, but yes, judging by my social media now, outside of this bubble here, there's a lot of fans now continually wanting to know where we are with your contract situation. So, I mean, is there anything you can say to reassure those fans, because they can obviously see that you are building something quite special here at the minute, but they do fear that if this isn't resolved, particularly maybe more so beyond Christmas, it's just going to become a bigger distraction to the main business of winning football matches?
Yes, no one has to be concerned. No one has to be concerned. 8 months in the life of a coach are unbelievable long period. Everything's okay. So my contract will end in the next summer. We already knew in the recent weeks. So for that, it doesn't distract the players at all. So we are pretty focused, and everything's okay. And I made it clear several times. I really appreciate to be allowed to be in this responsible role to help this club in the transition period, and to help the club to develop something and create something special and something new. And to be in this responsible role is a great pleasure. And I really enjoy to be allowed each and every day to come here to the training ground, to Colney, or to play and to work with this lads to be successful. And my claim is to bring success to our supporters and all the people who work for this club. And this is my biggest joy. And I'm totally happy, and I won't forget all the trust and all the support I had in the recent months, and I'm totally thankful for that. And so no one has to be concerned. So the most important thing is that the key people that are our owners, that is our sporting director, Stuart Webber, that they know in which direction the club wants to head, and that they have a clear vision and a clear philosophy. And when the head coach is there to sign a new contract, it's not so important if it's in a few weeks or whenever. So the most important thing is that the most important people in the club, the key people, know in which direction they want to head, and then it's not so important to do a new contract pretty quick and pretty early. So no one has to be concerned, and I'm just really focused on being successful with this club, with this group of players, and that's my main topic.
You'll be looking at players in January. There'll be players contract next summer. You know, football does move fast, and for the players, they would want to know who they're going to be working with beyond the next summer. So, as much as you say, there's no urgency, but you would probably agree that moving into the new year, there would need to be some sort of decision reached and made public.
Yeah, that's right. But to be honest, I worked really several years, even in my career, and worked and planned the next season further on, even in the role when I worked as a sporting director in this role. And I haven't. So my contract was the last contract who was signed, and perhaps that was the reason it was always such a bad contract, because no money was left. But in general, so it's really like, for me, when you work with all of your heart and all your emotion and your focus for a club, it's not like because your contract ends you stop thinking about what will be in a few months. So you can be sure each and every day I'm already working together with our key people, with Stuart Webber, planning about which player could be interesting, and which could be a new signing or whatever. So I think it's important when you work in this business, and you are there, that you always of course pay lots of attention on short-term success. That's what you have to do as a head coach, but also to plan what will happen in a few months, which players are interesting, which are the new signings. So it's also a sign of what we are doing, that we were able to sign many new contracts, long-term contracts with players like Max Evans or Jamal Lewis and Louis Thompson. So if I wouldn't be interested in this topic, we can be sure that no one of them has signed a long-term contract. So we know what we want to do, and each and every day, Stuart Webber and me, we are trying to build also something not only for the next 8 months, but also on long term, and that's our focus. Yes.